If you are going to build VLOOKUPs to look up data in effectively what we can call a data table, as we have here in our table manage file, then there are a couple of little things that you need to keep an eye on and be careful and aware of when adding or taking away data from that table set. For example, if we went to our order form and we tried adding an item such as SAM 01932 and we wish to buy 5 of those, then we find no unit cost is brought through, no total, no description and no weight, because this item does not exist in our data set. So it doesn't exist in our lookup table. That isn't too much of a problem. We can go to our items, which we know that are here, go to the end and add in SAM 01932. This is a fireman SAM action figure and it costs 678654. Is it available? Yes. We won't worry too much about the item image as we're not using that in our lookup, but we are using the weight, and they weigh 800 grams and there are 6 in stock. If we then go back to our order form template, we find we still don't have any values added across. The reason for that is that our table reference is a named range. As we can see in our VLOOKUPs, we're using the stock named range. Now, in order to insert data into that stock name range, we have to do one of two things. In our stock items here, we can choose the stock named range from the list here, and that will highlight so we can see where that actually covers up to. And you can see it doesn't quite reach to our new item. Now, if, however, we were to insert a new item by inserting it within the range, so that could be at the top or even just above the bottom one, if I went insert, and then added in my new SAM item, Fireman SAM action figure. Luckily, the pre-listing of items already in the list has helped us out there in Excel. It doesn't do it with numeric values though, be careful of that. 800 and there's 6 of them. Now, because I've inserted a row above the top row, what you'll find is the stock named range, if I now choose it again, has been extended to include that new row because I inserted it within the range. And because of that, my order template is then completed. So if you are going to add items to your range, you need to make sure that you insert them before the end. But that's not always feasibly possible, and it's not always the most sensible thing. Most people would expect to go to the bottom of the list and add a new item. There is a potential workaround for that, and that is when you originally set up the stock named range, set it up to include a number of blank rows. The fact that there are blank rows within that named range won't affect your VLOOKUPs, and then new people adding new items can simply come down and add an item to the end. Now, retrospectively, we can't now extend the range by creating it from scratch, but we can extend the named range that already exists by going to Formulas, Name Manager. But we can see here that our stock range refers to the range A1 to L276 in the item sheet. If I simply click into here and let's extend this to 376, that gives us a growing room of 100 items. OK. Close and go back to my order form template. None of these have suddenly decided to break or anything because we've got 100 empty rows. What it does allow me to do is add new items very easily to the bottom of the list. So let's add FRI 20,000 Friday creatures. They are 79854. Yes, we have them in stock. They weigh 300 and there are 50 of them. So that's Fry 20,000. In our order template, assuming those 100 blank rows are now included, we could add in Fry 20,000 and we'll buy 4 of them. And we can see the lookup then works. It brings through the description, the weight, and the unit cost. So that's sort of planning ahead with your named range. Give it those few extra rows, however many extra rows you think you're going to need, and then add a few more on, and name that as your named range to use in the VLOOKUP. Alternatively, you would have to remember to always insert rows above the bottom row, and then Excel will extend the named range for you. If you just add them to the bottom of the named range, but effectively outside the range, they will not be included in any VLOOKUP formulas you might use. So that's just a caveat, and be careful when managing your lookup tables to use in V and H lookups.